Hello Ponderers, welcome back to another episode of Pause, Sip, and Ponder. I hope you guys had a wonderful week so far and a wonderful Valentine's Day with your friends, family, or significant other if you had one. It is a holiday that celebrates love, so even if you don't have that significant other, it's a holiday to really appreciate and express your love to those who you truly value in your life. And also a day to share some love with someone you don't know. No, I don't mean kissing a stranger off the street. It could be giving a compliment or helping someone in need or choosing to forgive someone. What I did for Valentine's Day was I got my mom a car wash, I got her a cute card, a cute pin, a rose, and some chocolate and put that on her dashboard and surprised her with that. I also got some chocolate for my brother and my boyfriend and his family, and got some cute pins for my gals for Galentine's Day. So that's what I did, and also pondered and thought about all the lovely people I've been blessed with in my life. Now today's episode will just be me talking, if you don't mind. A lot of people have been asking and wanting to hear an episode with just me speaking, similar to my very first episode, which I'm very excited and honored by. So today I'm sharing my thoughts on the concept of love and what it means to me. I think the most awesome thing to know is that everyone has a different take and understanding of love. Everyone has experienced it, good and bad, and there's just so much to it. Now, before I start, I want to share some responses from my listeners. I missed out on a couple after posting last week, so I will share the remaining answers to the question of what is love to you. Alright, so Josiah says, love is food. Completely agree with that. Thank you for that. Earl says love is giving yourself without expecting anything in return. Nikki says love is dangerous. PJ says love is a fire that warms you up or incinerates you completely. Tatiana says sacrifice. Casey says commitment. And Rachel says something you can't explain. Thank you guys so much for these responses. I'm sorry I couldn't read it in my last one, but hey, it's perfect for this one. So thank you for that. Now, before I start, I actually want to challenge myself in recording this session in one take. I'm so thankful for being able to edit my mistakes and unnecessary audio, but for this episode, it being personal and myself, I wanted to give you guys some raw content. I will just be splitting it for the sake of instrumentals and music to set the mood. I want to push this new series I'm starting called Pauline's Thoughts, and where I share my personal thoughts I've jotted in my journal, and it's been a way, or can be a way for you to learn more about me. If you go into my room, you'll see piles and piles of journals, some finished and some not. And I've always enjoyed journaling. It has been in my life forever. It's been my escape in life and anxieties ever since I was little. So what you're about to hear are direct thoughts from my journal. I'm nervous, if you can't tell. I'm nervous yet excited to share it with you guys. So sit back, relax, and let's just chat. I wish I could tell you that I was confident about what love is, that I had the answers, and that I had concrete ideas about it, but to be honest with you, I don't. And this is me being realistic in the beginning before we get into the good stuff. Over the years, this would worry and annoy me. I always thought I had to know exactly what love was. I thought it would help me with my confidence in choosing friends, relationships, and what actions I should take. But that assurance and confidence has been weakened due to moments of disappointment, circumstances, temporary friendships, abuse, and heartbreak. It has caused me to be more hesitant and afraid, but at the same time more welcoming and open to it. Over time, I've learned to accept the fact that I probably will never know what true love is, fully understand it, or say it's easy. I noticed that in order to learn more about it, I would have to experience it for myself. So here's what I learned. Love is one of the hardest things to do. Set aside all the lovey, romantic, heartwarming things. It's especially hard to love those who have hurt you. It was hard for me to forgive and love my past bullies, the people who have rejected me, the people who made me feel inadequate and not enough, family who has said some hurtful things before, siblings who don't come eye to eye with me, and sometimes it's hard to even love myself. But recently, my friend Eric and I had a conversation, and he asked the question and opened my eyes when he said, Is it love that you're afraid of, or is it getting hurt? I asked some of you guys about what are the fears or consequences that come with loving someone for both romantic and non-romantic friendships and relationships. Nico says, if you have an imbalanced love, fear of losing one another could corrupt love into possession. PJ says, love turning to hate is one of the most dangerous things. Charlotte says, being taken for granted. Marimay says, growing apart, your partner losing feelings for you. Tommy says, a lack of trust. Joe says, what happens when it's gone? And Anna says, thinking too much into the future. Over the years, I've been hurt a lot, but that's for another episode. I'm not super guarded when it comes to my feelings, but I admit sometimes I block out or try to avoid situations that could potentially hurt me again. But then I learned that making the first move into forgiving and loving has definitely been worth it. It has eased things for me, and I noticed the people that had bothered me before don't bother me anymore. They had apologized without me really expecting one, and it was easier to forget. Alright, again, I'm sorry that I started off a little bit sad, but we're moving on to the good stuff. Love is a strong energy. I don't know if I'm the only one, but isn't it that when you're surrounded by good and genuine people, you feel that sense of warmth, and smiles are contagious? It has the power of bringing people together. It has the power of comfort, of peace. Love is what connects the bond between a child and a mother. It is so strong that no one can really go against it. Love speaks out for justice and protects when harm is being done. Love points out the consequences of hurting oneself or others. I believe almost everyone longs to feel loved, one way or another, and love is inherently free. It can't be bought, it can't be sold or traded. You can't make someone love you. Well, I don't think so. Nor can you prevent it with any amount of money or material thing. Love is the little things in life. I've also come to learn that love comes in different forms. It is very common that in Asian households, or I guess there are other cultures out there where affection is rarely expressed, and every family is different, but let me know if you can relate. It took a while for me to finally understand why my mom was harsh with me at times, but I came to realize the late nights she would work, the multiple part-time she would pull off, the food she put on the table, the lectures, was just her way of ensuring that I was raised independently, successfully, and safe. It was her way of showing her love and affection for me. Her love was shown through the blisters in her feet, her rough, sore, and hard-working hands, and I noticed that her love language was acts of service. Of course, all cultures and people are different. The 5 love language concept has always been very interesting to me, actually, and I've actually seen it to be very true. For those who aren't familiar with it, Gary Chapman wrote a book about it, how there are 5 different ways that we each speak and understand emotional love, kind of like it having different dialects. And here's a brief description of each. Number 1, words of affirmation, expressing affection through spoken affection, praise, or appreciation. Number 2, acts of service. Actions rather than words are being used to show and receive love. Number 3, receiving gifts. Gifting is symbolic of love and affection. Number 4, quality time. Expressing affection with undivided, undistracted attention. Number 5, physical touch. Affection is expressed through physical intimacy and simple things like holding hands. So it's a survey you guys can actually take online that is free if you wanted to know which one you were more dominant in. My results said I was more dominant in words of affirmation, which I find to be extremely true, and it makes a lot of sense. And then the second one under that was physical touch. I learned that with every connection between a friend, a family family member, or a significant other that feels out of place at times, sometimes I don't know how to cheer them up or have a hard time communicating with them. And I try to figure out their love language so I have a better idea of how to connect and understand them. Now, I know in the beginning I did mention how maybe I will never fully experience or fully understand what love is. And maybe I will. Maybe I'm just on a journey and just gathering some bits of information and experience towards some destination. I don't know exactly where, but I think that's with a lot of us. All of us are on our own journey, and we're running towards or away from something. And sometimes we don't know exactly what. Sometimes we're so hungry and thirsty for just this feeling of fulfillment and feeling complete. But at the end of the day, sometimes that's not the case. And I found myself struggling with this because I felt like I've been doing something wrong, or I would never experience what I wanted to feel. I didn't feel complete. But at the age of 13, everything changed. And one thing I knew for sure and learned was that where this whole idea and feeling and concept of love originated. And before I go on, I first want to say thank you to those who have been so open and so respectful to the fact that I wear my faith on my sleeve. And I know everyone experiences life and experiences love in different ways, and we all have our own story, and this is mine. It was a moment that I felt personally that I had never felt from any person or material thing at all. It was something I always knew in the back of my head, but couldn't fully grasp and pay attention to. I didn't feel like I deserved it. I felt this love in a moment of darkness and emptiness, and this love filled that empty void in me that I had for so long. It was a love that you could never get from this earth. It was a love that felt so lovely and perfect and intimate. It happened when I encountered God and Jesus into my life after all that He has done, and finding out what He has in store for me, finding out the plans that He has for me, breathing life into me, giving me the people in my life, and sending His only Son just to die for me, a prisoner's death where He was tortured and bled to death, and so that I may live. And it's a feeling that I can't really express in any words, because that's how grand it is and how much it has affected my life. And it really has done a lot to me, and it really took me out of depression and my moments of suicidal thoughts. It was so grand, and I want to share with you guys a verse that can really apply to anybody in any belief, any perspective, any thought, any background, because it really is an example of what love is and what it should be. And this is from 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 through 7. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And I've been living my best and trying to follow His own example and spreading His love and just practicing that unconditional love and being open towards others, listening to others, and hopefully giving hope to everyone around me and just sending positive vibes. And of course, with all that's going on in this world where it seems like it's impossible to love, sometimes it's the only thing we can do, and it is definitely something that will always be there, and it is definitely worth doing. It is something that can heal and lighten things up. It brings out the best in people, and I think that whoever decides to love in the hardest situations are warriors. The world can't change and become peaceful in a snap of a finger, but in the short time we live, it doesn't hurt to spread some love, and we should not only do it in the month of February, but every days of our life. Alright, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking your time to listen to my thoughts. That was really mentally tiring, but I'm so happy that it happened. And this is something that I've been contemplating about, but I got it through. And thank you so much for taking your time just to listen. And I want to hear your guys' story. I want to hear what you guys been through, your love story, your journey. And thank you so much for being supporters and lovers of this podcast. I am so excited for what's to come, especially in this series. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do next, but it will come to me, and hopefully you guys, you love it and you enjoy it and you tell your friends about it. I really want to push this community to become bigger, not just for having a large group around me or having the followers or plays, really to spread the awareness, tell people that there is a community out there that really want to listen, that want to encourage, inspire one another. And that's my great goal in this place, or in this community, is to really come together, and in the times that are hectic, just to have that hiding place, that comforting place. And that's something hopefully I've given to you guys, and definitely you guys have given it to me, and just your love and support. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week for another episode, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay positive and stay curious, Ponderers.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.